April 8, 2017, Lawrenceville, Georgia. Police respond to a welfare check at a quiet suburban home. Concerned family members haven't heard from the couple in over a week. Officers force entry. What they find inside makes them issue this statement. This is a very unique and disturbing case on so many levels. We may never find a scenario that makes sense to a reasonable person. Upstairs, in a bedroom and bathroom, they discover two bodies, savagely beaten, throats cut, doors caulked shut to contain the smell. 63-year-old Wendy and Randall Bjorge, murdered in their own home. But the horror doesn't stop there. That same night, police respond to another scene, an assault. Johnny Ryder's sister and her boyfriend, both beaten with a baseball bat. Their car stolen. Outside the apartment, officers find a vehicle registered to Wendy and Randall Bjorge. Now police have two crime scenes and two suspects on the run. 17-year-old Cassie Bjorge and her boyfriend, Johnny Ryder. What detectives would soon discover is that these weren't their only targets. They had a kill list, and they wanted to be the next Bonnie and Clyde. If you're interested in true crime cases that reveal the darkest sides of human behavior, make sure to subscribe. I cover real investigations like this every week. And trust me, this case only gets worse from here. Let's go back to the beginning. 17-year-old Cassie Bjorge lived with her grandparents, Wendy and Randall Bjorge. She'd had her share of troubles. In the past year alone, her grandmother reported her as a runaway 18 times. But on the night of April 8, 2017, those troubles would escalate into something far more sinister. Around 10 p.m., Gwinnett County police officers are called to a home on Rambling Woods Drive for an assault. Inside, they find Johnny Ryder's sister and her boyfriend, both severely beaten with a baseball bat, their car stolen. Outside the apartment, officers locate a vehicle registered to Wendy and Randall Bjorge, Cassie's grandparents. Investigators immediately rush to the Bjorge house on Furlong Drive and force entry. There, they begin to realize the attack on Johnny's sister may not be the most disturbing crime tied to Cassie and Johnny. In an upstairs bathroom and bedroom, an officer finds the bodies of Cassie's grandparents, savagely beaten, throats cut, the doors to the rooms caulked shut, possibly to prevent odor from seeping out. Now police need to find Cassie Bjorge and Johnny Ryder. They're prime suspects in the homicides and the attack on Johnny's sister. Around 4 a.m. on April 9th, Johnny's sister's stolen vehicle is located outside an apartment building on McGinnis Ferry Road in Sandy Springs. Investigators place surveillance on the vehicle. Within hours, a SWAT robot is activated to enter the building. Unsure of what may be awaiting officers inside, the SWAT robot moves carefully from room to room. Finally, it locates Cassie Bjorge and Johnny Ryder, both injured after what investigators believe was a failed suicide attempt following their crime spree. While spending a few days in the hospital, Cassie admits to killing her grandparents in an unrecorded conversation. Investigators place Cassie under arrest and bring her to the Gwinnett County Police Department on April 12th. Detectives offer her a familiar comfort, a McDonald's burger and fries, hoping to ease her nerves and lower her defenses before questioning begins. Her hands and forearms are still covered in bandages from the harm attempt, chained together. The detectives eventually unchain her to allow her to eat, but it's time to get down to business. They start by asking about an argument with her grandmother. Cassie explains she didn't really run away. Her grandma kicked her out after an argument. She came home for curfew. Her grandfather was asleep. Her grandmother got angry and said if Cassie didn't like it there, they'd find somewhere else for her to stay. Cassie responded by saying if they were going to find another place, she'd just leave and find somewhere else to go. After leaving, Cassie stayed with Johnny. They slept in his car. A couple days later, they decided to go back to her grandparents' house in the middle of the night. But it wasn't Cassie's idea at first. Cassie describes how the plan started. Johnny first asked her a question. "Are you afraid to die?" She said no. Then she asked him the same question. He said no. Then he started talking about how they could run away together, live out some kind of dream. That's when he asked her, "Would you kill your grandparents?" Cassie hesitated, asked why. Johnny knew everything she'd been through with her family. He understood she just wanted to get away from everything. Move on. Her relationship with her grandparents had gotten really bad. Detectives ask about the actual plan, how they would do it. Cassie explains they started talking about what time to go to the house, how they would do it, what materials they needed. They decided to go around midnight or 1:30 a.m. because her grandmother normally went to sleep around 11:30 p.m. or midnight. They would park down the road. The neighborhood park was right behind her backyard. When they made it to the back gate, they went up the deck stairs, but her grandmother was still awake. They'd arrived a little early. So they went back down and waited by the shed. When they saw the lights turn off, they waited a little longer. Cassie already had keys to the house. She unlocked the back door. That made everything easier. Detectives ask what they had in their hands. Cassie had a tire iron from Johnny's car. Johnny just used his fists. He brought a black backpack. Inside, duct tape, the tire iron, and gloves. They were both wearing gloves. The plan was simple. Cassie would go upstairs to her grandmother's room. Johnny would go to her grandfather's room. Johnny started first. Cassie could hear her grandfather yelling, hear them fighting. That's when she started getting the rush, started hitting her grandmother in the head with the tire iron. She just kept beating her head with it. When she stopped hearing Johnny, he came into the room with her and her grandmother. He helped tie up her grandmother with duct tape, hands, whole head, ankles. Then Cassie dragged her into her grandfather's room. Johnny asked Cassie to go get knives from downstairs in the kitchen. She got 3 big butcher knives. That's when he started stabbing her grandfather. Cassie dragged her grandmother into her grandfather's room so they were both there. Then Cassie asked her grandmother for the code to the safe in her closet. She already knew there was a safe, just didn't know what was inside. They left her grandmother sitting on the floor while Cassie went to the safe. Her grandmother told them the code. Cassie went into the closet and started stuffing the backpack with everything inside. Envelopes filled with money, about $1,000 they were just saving. After Cassie got the stuff, she went back into the room and told Johnny. That's when he slit her grandfather's throat. Then they dragged her grandmother into the bathroom. Cassie isn't sure why they brought her there. They just didn't want to bring her into the bedroom. Johnny slit her throat too, but Cassie also hit her grandmother in the back of the head with the tire iron, right where the spine is. Johnny told her if you hit right there with one good hit, you can knock the person out and they'll be dead. But her grandmother was pretending to be dead for a while. Cassie would check on her and see she was still breathing. She'd tell Johnny, "She's still alive." What the heck? Johnny finally made the last blow. Then he slit her throat. Then they left. After brutally killing the 2 people who took care of Cassie when her parents couldn't, the people who called police 31 times trying to help her, the pair left the house. They went to Kroger or Publix to get something to eat. Then they came back to the house and just kind of chilled there. Detectives ask if they stayed in the house. Cassie says they were kind of in and out for a couple days, just the 2 of them. They didn't tell anyone. She told her friends her grandparents went on vacation for 2 weeks. Cassie took her grandmother's purse. It was in the car. She couldn't find her grandfather's wallet. Had no idea where it was. Just had her grandmother's wallet in her purse. Detectives reveal her grandfather hid his wallet and cell phone under his bed. Cassie seems to chuckle that her grandfather managed to hide his wallet from her. Then Cassie says something somehow even more disturbing than what detectives have already heard. Detectives ask why they didn't leave town, why they stayed. Cassie explains. The plan was they were going to get both of their families. Detectives stop her. What? Cassie continues. The plan was they were both going to get both of their families, but first, they got her grandparents. That's why they went to Johnny's house and attacked his sister and her boyfriend, because Johnny wanted to kill his family. They stayed in town for a couple days, wanted to get some money, get ready to leave. Then the plan of going to Johnny's house didn't work out at all. It went downhill from there. Detectives ask why they went to Johnny's house before everyone got back for the night. Cassie explains their plan was to wait for each family member to come home, knock them out, one by one. It didn't go like that. Detectives ask whose idea that was. Cassie says it was Johnny's idea. That's why he asked her if she wanted to kill her grandparents, because he already wanted to kill his family. He was like, "Let's beat Bonnie and Clyde." Cassie said, "Okay." Like the notorious criminal couple Bonnie and Clyde, Cassie and Johnny wanted to go on a crime spree, and his family and her grandparents weren't the only people on their kill list. Detectives ask if Cassie's mom was ever part of the plan. Cassie admits she wanted to kill her too. She and Johnny discussed it, but Johnny said they couldn't waste time on them. Cassie said okay, but she wanted to. Detectives ask if there was a snapping point, if she feels bad about what happened. Cassie says they're her grandparents. She feels terrible, feels like the worst person on the planet, but at the same time, it's weird. She feels heartbroken but doesn't know how to describe it. She's really sad about it. That's one of the reasons she wanted to kill herself. Overdose. There was so much stuff going on between her and her grandparents. She couldn't handle it anymore. Detectives ask what was going through her head during this. Was she angry? Sad? Cassie says it was both. All her emotions came out when it was happening. She was angry, sad, heartbroken at the same time. She kept thinking, why did all this stuff have to happen with my family? Why did I have to deal with all this? She just couldn't handle it anymore, kept exploding inside. She wanted to run away and be by herself with someone, start her life. She was tired. Detectives clarify, Grandma and Grandpa were her biggest hurdles. Cassie confirms, yeah. Detectives ask where they were going to go afterwards. Florida, maybe Pensacola or Panama City. Somewhere they could escape. Somewhere they could escape reality. Detectives ask what she means, escape reality or kill her grandparents. Cassie clarifies, not kill them, just escape from everything, start her life. The detective leaves and returns with a video from someone who claims they partied in the Bjorge house days after the murders, while the grandparents' bodies were still upstairs. Detectives ask about people coming over to the house. Cassie admits people did come over after they killed her grandparents. It was all one big rush. She doesn't remember what day they came over. Detectives clarify, within 7 days after killing her grandparents and before attacking Johnny's family, people were at the house. Cassie confirms, yes. Detectives ask about the doors being caulked shut. That was before people came over. Cassie even poured bleach on the bodies before anyone came. She left one of the bleach bottles in the bathroom next to her grandmother. Detectives ask why she poured bleach on them. Johnny told her to, for the smell. That was because it smelled and they were having people over, but they weren't intending to have people over. Only one friend came over one day because it was only a couple days after. They thought it would be okay. It didn't smell in the house. Detectives ask if the friend knew the grandparents were upstairs. No, they had no idea. Cassie told them they were on vacation. The friend didn't go upstairs at all, just stayed for a few hours. Came really late at night. Detectives ask if Cassie texted anyone on her grandmother's phone. Yes, she texted Sylvia, a family member in California. Sylvia kept asking if everything was okay because she was freaking out that her grandmother wasn't texting her. So Cassie started texting her saying everything's fine. Detectives ask where she took the phone from. It was on her grandmother's nightstand. Cassie took it in the middle of the attack, so her grandmother couldn't call 911. They made sure neither grandparent could call 911. No one else came to the house. After nearly 2 hours in the interrogation room, the detectives have had enough of Cassie's calm demeanor. One detective tells her it was all over the news. The only thing that seems apparent is she's sorry she got caught, that she had people over after. She doesn't seem to be sorry that she killed her grandparents. Cassie insists she is sorry. For the next several minutes, Cassie's cold exterior seems to break down. She switches between crying and trying to hold herself together. Finally, detectives have heard enough. Cassie is booked into jail. She's being charged with malice murder for her grandmother and malice murder for her grandfather. Cassie Bjorge and Johnny Ryder are charged with 2 counts of malice murder for killing Wendy and Randall Bjorge, and 2 counts of aggravated assault for the attack on Johnny's sister Mindy and her boyfriend. In February 2018, they both pled guilty to all counts. They are each sentenced to 2 life sentences. At their sentencing, Johnny apologizes for his actions. "I know what I have done is abominable and evil and is deserving of hellfire. I would like to express my deepest apologies to the Bjorge family. I'm so sorry for the pain and grief I have caused all of you." Cassie, with her family watching, doesn't speak. This case shows how quickly teenage rebellion can spiral into unimaginable violence. Wendy and Randall Bjorge called police 31 times trying to help their granddaughter, reported her as a runaway 18 times in 1 year. They were trying to save her, and she killed them for it. If this case affected you, make sure you subscribe. I cover real investigations like this every week, cases that reveal the darkest corners of human nature. And trust me, there are more stories that need to be told. Cassie Bjorge and Johnny Ryder are both serving life sentences. They wanted to be Bonnie and Clyde. Instead, they're spending the rest of their lives behind bars. Wendy and Randall Bjorge were 63 years old when they were murdered by their own granddaughter. They deserved so much better.